The only thing I ask of you, Ollie, is if you can just introduce yourself and say that this is another episode of the Sit Down Podcast. You got some lightning?
Yeah, I've got one of my bulbs is dying, so I might have some
that's
interesting looking
that's
lights.
gonna be fun.
Yeah, so my name is Olli Eldrick, and this is another episode of the Sit Down Podcast.
Perfection.
Go for your lights.
Hello and welcome to the show, our dear friend Olli Eldrick. What?
Eldrick.
Isn't that what I said?
Yeah, sure.
Close enough. I'll take it.
Yeah.
My apologies if I pronounced that wrong.
You probably heard worse, right?
Oh yeah,
dude. I'm so happy that we're doing this, even though it is virtually.
It's still great fun.
Shit, yeah. We've been able to be acquainted. A big result of that is because of hosting the open stages at the Capitol. I think that's where the first time I got to meet you was at, and just throughout the course of the year, been able to build that friendship with you, man. And I want to tell you on air how great of a performer I think you are, man. Whether you're playing it solo acoustically or you're playing with the band or what have you, like, there's something very appealing about you, and you've got the talent as well as just the appeal. So you're checking a lot of boxes, Ollie, and it's not going unnoticed, man. So congrats to you on that, my dude.
I remember the first time I saw you was at the open stage, and you did a Johnny Cash song. That was wow.
Yeah, I used to. I do like Johnny Cash. I don't want to come out the gate with this podcast and say something controversial that I don't, because I do. But I've never been like a massive listener to his music too much. Just never really was something I listened to growing up. But that song has always been a really easy one to have in the repertoire, just to throw out if you're playing with other people, which has always been great.
Yeah.
Freaking right.
But no, the open stage has been great. I mean, for years now, I'm going to quickly sort the slides out. Right, there we go.
Better.
No, with the open stage and stuff, with any open mic that I've done either over here or back anywhere I've ever lived in the UK, I just think they are an invaluable resource, and I love them. I love them endlessly, not just as like a musical thing. I think they're just great for keeping the idea of like a city's music community alive, because it just gives a really nice social hub. There's not a lot of pressure on for them, so they're always a great time. They're always a great time, even if you're not playing and you're just watching people. I always say that one of the best things about open mics is, best case scenario, you discover someone who you've never heard of before, and they're just incredible to see. Worst case scenario, it's 15 minutes until the next person comes on.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I say that too. I've heard Mark just stepped out there. Somebody was ringing the doorbell, so he'll be right back. But there's always some people are watching to see like who's a room clearer, like who clears the room, all that kind of stuff. But realistically, like if you're not into the artist that's performing, like go for a cigarette and come back in and they'll be done. You know what I mean? It's 20 minutes. Like there's so many artists that go through.
Yeah. I think that's also part of why we enjoy doing this so much, because we're kind of social butterflies.
Yeah.
And we like meeting new artists, and open stage is perfect for that.
And that's the thing with the music community like Saskatoon has, where I would hazard to say well over half are not from the city originally. It's a great way to network. It's a great way to feel sort of get your fingers in the pie before too long, because it can be really isolating, especially trying to find gigs and stuff like that when you don't know anyone.
Mhm.
So having this central point, even if it's not necessarily entirely what you think of as your music scene or anything else, it's still a really good guaranteed way to meet other musicians, and I think that's always a wonderful thing. And also, we're really lucky that we get to do it at the Capitol. I've been to some great open mics at very shitty locations, and I've been to very shitty open mics at very great locations. So it's nice to get both together. And yeah, when I was in the UK, I was part of the music scene at a place called Suburbia in Southampton. Shout out to Jay, who was an amazing, he's an amazing guy, still doing it, and he really fostered that community. And while I didn't, don't regret leaving the city, I was anxious about if I'd find anything out here, and I think the Cap has really managed to fill that spot for me as like me just socially as a human being, and also musically as a musician. So it's been really nice for both those things. Yeah, I think they're a wonderful and occasionally like a little maligned resource for a lot of musicians.
Agreed.
Yeah. So going back to the UK, where did you get the idea? Like, hey, let's move to Saskatchewan. Like,
Um,
I kind of know the story, but tell our listeners.
So we'll go way back to the beginning. So my grandmother was Canadian. She was born in Hamilton, Ontario, and her she was born to her Canadian father, whose name is Eldrick Todd, which is where I get the Eldrick and Olli Eldrick from. So I'd always been like aware, and while she moved, like when she was a kid, back to the UK, I'd always had this awareness of Canada. So in the back of my mind, and after road tripping around the US after I finished university, I just got this bug that I wanted to move out west and try something new. But it was always a big decision to make, so I didn't really want to make it lightly, and I didn't really know how I would make that decision in the first place. And then I started doing music, and that was great. I had a really good time doing that. Split my time between my hometown of Nottingham and where I was living down south in Hampshire. And then COVID hit, and I lost 2 years of sort of socializing and sort of career progression. But I also started writing music for the first time, and after a while, I realized that I liked my music. I thought I was doing well with it, but I wasn't getting much traction in the UK. People liked me, but uh, country music doesn't sell, so people didn't want to take the risk of paying or putting on. Even though I don't consider myself the most country person, it's enough to push people away a little bit. And after I sort of reached a natural end to the job I was doing, teaching, I thought, yeah, let's take the plunge. And so I did. And how I ended up deciding on Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, I was actually still through music because yeah, the first time I'd ever heard of Saskatchewan was through Cor Blund's song, and then I discovered started listening to a lot more Canadian country, and I discovered people like Colter Wall and Zachary Lucky, who's a local from the city now moved out east. And yeah, it just was always on my horizon. And then I learned a bit more about it, and I realized that it's a pretty good scene for music. Maybe not as prominent as Calgary, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper. And for someone not moving with that much money, um, I'll definitely take the financial benefits. And yeah, I moved out here August 20th, 2022. I've been out here for a little over 10 months, and it's flown by, and I don't regret it at all. I love the city. I love the country. Um, yeah, it's just been an amazing time, and I mean in those 10 months, especially since the new year, for me, music's really taken off. I'm getting paid gigs, which I've had before, but like this first time I've been regularly having them since way back when I was a bassist in my band as a teenager, and so that's been really nice, and it's given me an opportunity to play with some amazing folk from the band I'm in at the moment, November Down, to getting to sort of sit in with Adam Johnson, obviously a dear friend of the podcast and of all of us, and do some bass work for him. I've got a couple of I've got a gig with him on July 8th, and I've got potentially a couple of other things that I might be helping him out with, to just getting to meet people and play with some people I have gone from being like, who I've luckily been able to go from being a genuine fan of to being good friends with people like Adam and people like Chesterfield and all these other amazing artists that we've seen come through the scene over the past few years. And it's an ever-changing scene. Like, I don't know who I'm going to meet next or who's going to meet me next. And it's
Exactly.
wonderful. Every week I'm finding someone else who blows me out of the water, and it's hard to keep track of, but I'd rather have it that way than the other. So
Yeah.
that's been really nice.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
I think that's the same with us too. Like it's inspiring, it's motivating. You dial into a specific band or an artist that you see one week and you're like, holy shit, these guys are good, and you're all about them. And then 3 weeks later, the bar is set even higher, and it's like, holy shit, who are these guys now? Like, these guys are phenomenal. And then it just keeps banking up and banking up. I freaking love it, man. It keeps that fire lit under my ass of who, like,
absolutely.
Yeah, I freaking love it.
And now, yeah.
I was gonna, but I want to talk more specifically about projects that you're working on, because correct me if I'm wrong, but you do have, is it some solo music that you're prepping to be releasing?
Yeah, so I'm just starting the process on recording a new EP, Tall Tales and Other True Stories. So that's been wonderful to be able to work on. I've gone from not really having a clue about how I was going to do music. I moved out here with very little stuff, and I didn't really know anyone. And now I've got with my dear friend Alex and my bandmate, we're setting up for recording for that, and I've got some wonderful musicians, most of whom I've met at the Capitol. In fact, all of them I've met at the Capitol. Are playing on it. I've got a wonderful guy from Swift Current, John, doing my guitar for me. I've got some other wonderful people doing bass and drums and stuff, and I'm just needing to lynch those in. But yeah, it's all original music. It's a few songs that I've had on me for a while. Some things you guys will have heard, some things that are new, that I've not played live before, but that I've been sitting on for a while, waiting for, a group of people to play with, and it's been going so well.
Freaking right. Are you recording this like on your own, or do you guys have like actual studio time and going into like?
It's a homemade studio, but it's a fully fledged studio, full equipment and everything. This isn't recording out of Zoom H6, which I've definitely done before. But
as have we.
Is that at Alex's?
Yeah. Yeah, that's Alex's. So yeah, I'm going through him. Simultaneously, like we're also recording stuff with the band. So additionally, as on top of my social, as you guys know, on top of doing my solo stuff, which takes up a fair amount of my time, I'm also a bassist for a band called November Down. So if you're not a huge country fan, I'm also doing the pop rock sort of thing on the side as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's we realized, because we were a little late to the punch, both again solo and band stuff coming out with regards to festivals this summer. So there's loads of amazing festivals, including your, and of course with Moosefest, and things like Ness Creek and Craven. Saskatchewan's got an amazing festival scene. It really has, like, far better than I thought it was going to be. Because we're a little late to the punch, getting on people's radars. We're not really playing any. I've got one with again another friend of the podcast, Josh Stumpf, up near Prince Albert at the end of August. So that's one.
That's right. Isn't that what is it? Sunset.
Yeah, Sunset Country Music Festival out by McDowell.
Yep.
It's for a great cause, so I'm really looking forward to doing that one. But because we've realised we can sort of like knuckle down this summer and really get some new music out before we can hit some nice autumn dates and really get the ball rolling there. So at first it felt like a bit of a shame not being able to be part of as many of these festivals as we wanted to, and seeing these really blossom and popularize. But it has kind of been a blessing in a way, because we can work on that backlog, which is nice. So you can always twist things around and turn things to work out for you. I've got just someone at my door now. I'll be back in one hot second. Okay. I'm so sorry, gents.
All good, buddy.
Heyo.
Hello, sorry about that.
No problem.
Picking up a package for my housemate, thank God.
Uh,
Why should you
well,
let me know beforehand?
while you were gone, I had to walk out too, so it was all good.
Fair enough. Just leaving Joe by himself for as long as possible.
Yeah, no doubt. I got like freaking. I'm in 5 different chats here going on at once.
No, but as we were saying, like, also it's just really nice to be able to record music again. It's been something I've kind of forgotten that I've really enjoyed doing, and it's been nice to hear songs that you write in your bedroom. Sorry, a bit out of breath. Write in your bedroom and sort of only hear yourself play and only really hear acoustic guitar in it turn into something much bigger and much more impressive. It's a really magical thing to watch.
Most
Yeah.
definitely.
It doesn't even have to be your own music. Like, we see it on a regular basis where someone is on stage at the Capitol and we hear the acoustic version, and then they end up in the studio, and then 2 weeks later there's a fully mastered masterpiece, and we're like, oh shit, that's what that's supposed to
Yeah.
sound like.
Right. Yeah. About what the fuck? What was I going to ask about recording?
Mm.
Oh well, let's go into this. So, how many songs are you scheduling to be released, and like what's the ETA on how's the progress growing? Like, I want the inside scoop, buddy, of what you're doing here.
Yeah, we want
So
details, man.
it's 5 songs. We just sort of settled on which ones are going to be on Friday, which is really nice. So John and I were working on Friday on some of them, going through which ones were, because there were a couple that I'd not played to anyone yet, and I just wanted to make sure that they were viable, that they worked, and sort of if we could try and work something out for that, and we did for most of them, well, for all of them. The first one, I'm hoping to get something out. I'm hoping to get something out for my year anniversary of being in here. So probably the first inklings will probably be around August 20th. I'm hoping.
Okay.
With both my EP and the band's EP slated for probably September. As we just sort of work on those. I mean, I'm always going to have a very lo-fi sound, so compared to high production I've done on other people's projects as a session bassist or just watching a lot of my friends work on very intricate pieces. I'm a, I'm a very very simple guy compared to that. I don't want to call myself a one take wonder because that makes myself sound much better, but I'm a very lazy musician really when it comes to these things. I recorded my last EP, Old College Try. I released. I needed to get it out before I moved out here. I released last July, I think, and that was 3 songs. And because of the way we were doing it, because it was a joint video and audio project, we had to do the whole thing, all 3 songs, live and in one day.
Oh wow.
So that was So that was a bit of a trek, and it's a mixed project. It's one of those things I'm very proud of. I understand the limitations of it, which is available on Spotify at the moment. So I do have music out. I've got that, and my first ever single was Brown Eyes and Smoke, which I'm still very proud of. And I did both those were mastered by my friends back in the UK, guys called Studio 4, Luke and Josh. Great guys.
So, did you say that there's music videos for that as well?
Yeah, man. It's all on my YouTube.
Can we have permission to spin one right now?
Oh God, take them. Yeah.
Okay, which one would you recommend? What's your favorite?
Absolutely, Take a Letter. My song A Letter is it's really annoying. It annoys me for so many reasons. I wrote this song in an afternoon because I knew I wanted to do a duet with my friend, and I was really excited to do it. So I wrote this song. I wrote it in an afternoon while I was at work, and I finished it up and I sent it over to her, and she was like, "This is great. Let's do this." We met up in a park near my house where I was living at the time. Sat down with my guitar, worked out the pieces, worked out the harmonies that we were going to do, or that she was going to do. She's a much more talented vocalist than me. And then yeah, that was on maybe the Friday, and then on the Thursday the next week is the next time I see her, and we're recording. Um, and just sat her down and like, hey, we're on camera. This is the song. Let's just go for it. And we did about 5 takes of it. And it's a really weird song because I love it dearly. I love it so much. But it is the one that people say, oh, this is probably your best work. And I'm like, cool. Do you like the lyrics of it? Do you like this? They're like, we just love your friend's voice. I'm like, yeah, Megan's got she's an incredible singer. That's why I have her on there. Like, you love something about me on my song. And so yeah, so that's I love that. The Unpromised as well is because it's a duet. I can't play it live over here, which is a shame. I've got a couple of people who I might try and get brushed up on it, because I'd love to bring it back. It's one of the few songs I will say that it's not like, oh, this song's fine, like I tried and it's interesting. It is a song I'm genuinely very, very proud of, and I will defend as saying it's good, unless someone ever tells me that it sounds like shit, at which point I'll probably say, yeah, you're probably right on that one, buddy. Yeah, never mind. I'll try something else.
Missed you this morning, just like I missed you last night. And it's heartbeat left because nothing feels right. So I called up my preacher so I could repent my sins. I prayed hard for salvation, but I guess he weren't in.
Took off for my own sake, 'cause you've forsaken your time. It's hard to hold on to what's never been mine.
So I write you this letter. I'll write it in song, and I hope maybe someday you'll sing. More than a week now, and I've been trying my best, but it's hard sitting here with this weight in my chest.
She knew what you were missing. Just me who forgot how to smile.
So I write you this letter. I'll write it in song, and I hope maybe someday you'll sing. Wait for your answer. By mail, by call, and I'll find out at last if you love me at all.
it was weird. It was a weird thing. I kind of so I said I used to teach as like a media technician slash assistant lecturer at the University of Winchester back in the UK, which is my alma mater. Um, and yeah, so I was like, I realized that I'd been working there for 3 years around all this film kit. And I hadn't really used that much. I'd used it a lot, but I hadn't really used it for as much personal stuff as I probably should have done. And so I used it occasionally to record like live little acoustic sessions, some of which are still up on YouTube. But I thought, let's do a big project. Let's do a stupidly big project and get two of my students who I'd become quite close with. One of whom is actually my successor in my job, which is very nice. If you're watching
Oh,
this, hi Cullen. Also, hi Josh. Cullen's a sound design whiz. He was he exceeded everything I knew when he was in his second year. And Josh is an amazing camera operator. So I've got these two guys who full of vim and vigor, and also are broke students, so I don't need to worry about paying them. And I was like, let's do some filming. Let's do some filming. So we did it together in a day. Yeah, Josh edited all the footage as well as directed it, and he did some amazing stuff with it, especially with the later two songs. And yeah, my wonderful friends at Studio 4H did it. And it's this very strange thing of I don't. It's my hardest thing in music is, or in any creative endeavor I've ever done, is I want to be popular. I want people to find my stuff, listen to it, and like it, as I'm sure we all do with any endeavor we have. God, I hate telling people. I really hate doing the self promotion. It's awful. I can do it maybe after 5 beers, and maybe feel a bit cocky enough. At which point I'm probably not the best at selling myself. But before that, I just feel it's just a British sense of shame about not wanting to cause a fuss, and so I don't tell people about all the music that I do, or about videos I've got, or any of these other things. But yes, I have a video EP effectively out. It's also on
That's
Spotify and Apple Music and all that.
that's freaking awesome, dude. I'm truly giddy to do a little dive into it here.
I know exactly how you feel though. Like the self promotion thing. I
Yeah,
had to
it
I had to
sucks.
get used to that when I got here because in my previous jobs I always had a job, and yeah, it was in web design and some marketing, but it was always promoting someone else. I could do that. And then
Yeah.
I started my own business. I was like, now I got to talk about myself.
Right.
Oh, that's weird.
What
Oh, it's
what makes it easy for me is because I put the focus in trying to promote the artist as opposed to myself or the program
yeah.
or whatever, right? If I can highlight the artist, then yeah, the focus is there instead of on you and me,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
it makes it easier for me personally.
it helps you sleep at nights.
It definitely does. It definitely does.
Yeah.
But then I get frustrated too. I'll be dead honest about it. A lot of people innerly piss me off, like significantly. I get so frustrated because it's almost patronizing when people are like, they'll tell us, "Oh, I watch your show" or whatever. Like we've been doing this for over 3 years on a weekly basis. Like we have not missed a week. It's one episode a week, right? And people are like, "Oh, I watched the show," and it'd be a question like, "Oh, well, which one's your favorite one?" or something like that, or "What did you like about this one?" And they can't answer it. So they're just saying it to be polite,
Or
which I get that, and like thank you for that, but don't fucking lie to me. Like if you're
Yeah.
not paying attention to the show and you don't know the discussions that are being discussed in the show, don't tell me that you know.
or
Right?
Yeah.
If you see an
What?
Instagram clip or a Facebook clip, like that's not the show.
no, but
That's
I think
just
that's,
like you're not watching the show.
I think that's what it is though. A lot of people, they go like, "Oh, I know Ollie. I'll watch that episode," and then they watch that episode, and not the rest,
Yeah.
or they watch part of the episode.
Well, I've had a few people that tell, like,
Which
I've
is
had
fine.
this comment a lot. "Oh, I watch your show on Facebook," or "I've seen your show on Instagram," and I'm just like, yeah, that's not the show.
That's
The show's on
Not the whole
YouTube, man. The show's on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's not on social. Like,
the 30 seconds is only 30 seconds of an whole. Of a
yeah,
whole
it's
hour.
just a clip or a snippet of the program. So, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm grateful for that. but it's like I need you to watch the actual show. Like if you want to be supportive, that's where I need you.
Yeah, self promotion's a nightmare thing. I've often talked to a lot of people about the idea of I mean, it sounds like a bit of an old hat now because we're probably 10, 15 years in the making of it. But I often talk about like the idea of the democratization of music, like back in the 60s and 70s and 80s and stuff like that. You know, to record an album took a lot of specialist equipment. It was harder to get into, but once you were in, it was a bit of a different thing. But also, if you were recording an album, it probably meant that you almost certainly had a manager, you almost certainly had an agent, you had all this staff, maybe not dedicated to you, but dedicated to the label at least, getting your music out and doing all that. And now, any dickhead with GarageBand or any free like audio editing software can make, produce, and release music that can be amazing. But you now have to do everything off your own back, and yeah, like I say, we've been in this situation for a while. I was talking about the democratization of music when when I was with my first band when I was 17 years old. I'm 27 now, so like, yeah, 10 years I've been talking about this, but it's
Right.
still the case, and I think it does. I think it does shock a lot of people because even people in the industry, because I do think we still have this idea of that music you make it big at some point and then that's how it happens. But there's this whole middle ground
Yeah.
where you might be being paid, you might even be full time musician, and you may, if you're lucky, have a manager who can help you out with things, or at least a very dedicated partner, girlfriend or
Right.
partner or whatever.
Yeah.
But doing things off your own back is, I think, it's incredibly hard. I've watched many people try and fail, and a lot of people burn out from it. But additionally, I still think it's something that a lot of people trying to get into the industry, or even people who are in the middle of things, don't realize how inevitably prevalent that is, and probably will be for the rest for the foreseeable future.
Right.
It's like I say, it's great because it means you can get your music out, but God, it means it's harder to get people to listen to it.
Yep.
And to stay listening to it, which is a thing. And yeah, I think the music industry is thriving now, and especially in terms of creativity. Because again, you don't have to wait for a money man to tell you what you can do and when you can do it. But yeah, it's a trade off.
Definitely is. Definitely.
There's more music out there right now than there was in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
But it also means there's a lot more crappy music out there.
That's right. There's like a lot of people who just like, throw shit at the wall and see what sticks.
Yep.
Kind of thing, which is fine too, because you wouldn't know like how to pursue that angle.
Yep.
But like you said, that just means that there's a lot of maybe not so much good music out there.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. But it's definitely an interesting one. But yeah, I think, where was I going with this? I was going somewhere with this. Oh, that was it. The one thing that I've always, I do consider myself a live musician more than I will ever consider myself a recording musician. And it's one of the things I do like about playing live is that
you get paid for it.
That's one thing.
That you get paid for it.
But but it still feels playing live music feels to me still feels not like like I said, I don't want to talk about the good old days when I'm a man born in 1996 and trying to talk about 1973. I'm not doing any of that stuff. But it feels nice and honest, and it still feels right to be able to play live music and stuff like that, which is wonderful.
Yeah, and not just playing, but the listening too. Like you can have streaming, you can have records, you can have CDs, but nothing beats live music.
Agreed.
Oh God, I mean, take Brothers G for instance. Lovely guys, genuinely wonderful guys. And I've known of them for a while, and I've listened to them on Spotify and stuff for the past couple of months now. But it was only last week that I got to see them play live, and yeah, I adore their stuff online. But it's nothing compared to seeing someone live.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Well, that's just it, because they can like tweak it and have like a longer solo here, or maybe add or remove a verse here, and it's just like
And
it's
feed off the crowd.
yeah, you
But
get
that's the thing,
exactly.
music, yeah, music is especially like with doing sort of like stuff that's a bit country and stuff like that. It just feels right live. Everything feels a bit more right live to me. But I don't know.
Yep.
I've been going to. I mean, I've been going to music for as long as I can remember. I remember my dad's always taken me to when I was growing up to various like gigs and stuff. And I realise now how lucky I am to have seen some of the bands I've seen. He tried to smuggle me into, I think it was a Motorhead show when I was about 2 years old.
Oh shit, yeah, dude. At
Um,
2.
but I was seeing like legends from the 60s and 70s from a young age, and yeah, I seen the Who like 7 times. I saw Rush at the age of 11, and I saw them 5 times. I've seen so many people. That yeah, like I feel a bit spoiled about live music, but it's really cemented. That's the way that I want to listen to things.
Yeah.
I like it, and I don't just mean. In fact, I don't just mean like the big arena stuff. Seeing people at Sastel and any major arena is amazing, of course, because you get to see some incredible acts. But it's places like the Capitol or dive bars or anywhere else that I just think, again, not to overuse the word, but I feel like is the most honest representation of music, and it's definitely the most immediate representation of what I like about music in general. It's just,
Oh man,
Yeah.
I could not agree more. And
I was actually going to ask how different is the music scene in the UK to here as a musician? Because I mean,
as a music lover, it's great. It's better in the UK because there's just more tour dates, so you get to see more music. But as a musician, I'd say things work mostly the same over here versus over there. It very much depends on what city you're in. One thing I always noticed was Nottingham had a lot more paying shows than Southampton did, just because of how places were set up. At the moment over here I've been playing around a lot of places like Haynes Mile Pub, somewhere else. A lot of the bar circuit, which is great. I love it. And that exists in Nottingham as well, and exists in other cities. It exists in London, I know. It didn't really exist in Southampton as much. You had to kind of wait to be the opening act for a bigger band, so there was a
Right.
lot fewer opportunities for it, which made it a lot harder to get those spots when they came around. And you'd occasionally be able to be like, the background music in a bar and stuff like that, but it was a lot fewer those gigs, which is a
Right.
bit of a shame.
I was
But
gonna
yeah,
give a little example of like the magic that can happen at something like that. We actually experienced that last Tuesday, the night we had Bros G performing. If you recall, there was a young woman. I'm gonna shout her out here, so forgive me if you're watching and you didn't want me to, but I'm going to anyway. I think her name was Sage.
Sage, yep.
If I'm not mistaken, but our like now we're doing the online registration for open stages, right? And this is I think week 2 or 3. Anyways, she was a walk-in. She came in to see if she could take the stage, and our list had already been full, but we were running a little ahead of schedule, which sometimes that happens. So I was encouraging her, like, hey, if you can just stick around a little bit, like I'm sure I can like squeeze you in here to do 3 songs. So she did. She was sticking around, and the night was progressing, and we were getting further and further ahead of schedule. So everything was going good. And then I saw her get up and start walking out. And she had her ukulele with her, and she was leaving. So I caught her just at the door as she was walking out, and I'm like, listen, like we're 15 minutes ahead of schedule, and when this artist that's performing right now has one more song, like the plan is we're gonna sneak you up like right after this artist. So like if you can just stay, like 10 more minutes, you'll be up on stage here. And I highly encourage you to stick around for Bros G if you don't know who they are and all that kind of stuff. So she did, and we got her on stage. And holy shit, man, I was blown away. I thought so too. Like, she was.
Do you know why she was there?
I do know why. I was going to get to that too.
Okay.
So Alex from Spare the Dying.
Yep.
This is the story I heard. Apparently saw her like busking on the street corner outside of his place of work or something. And he just told her, like, hey, you should come to the Capitol on a Tuesday night and get up on stage. And so she did. And that's as simple as that was.
Yep.
And holy crap, man, I'm going to love it if I get shout out to you out there, Sage. If you're watching or listening, man, we want to see you back on that stage. You were phenomenal. Like,
so we're recording this on Monday. She's on the list for tomorrow. She will be back.
Is she really?
Yep.
Wonderful.
Oh shit, yeah. I think like just the reception of the crowd and everybody just hooting and hollering for her, I think like threw her back a little bit. She even said something like, holy crap, like this is this is the best crowd I've ever gotten to play for.
This is the most applause I've ever had.
Yeah. Well, and she deserved it, rightfully so.
Yeah.
Like, it was amazing.
Yeah.
So I love that kind of stuff. Just unexpected, and then boom, there's like a diamond in the rough there. Bang.
Yep.
That shit like really fuels me up. I was gonna say something really inappropriate there, and I had to stop myself.
But no, it's I think as well, one of the things that I've always enjoyed the most about open mics as well, and sort of going back to sort of talking about the live stuff, is you get to see a lot of people who you wouldn't normally listen to. A lot of like, I am not a huge like hip hop guy. I know that comes as a shock to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Really?
Really knows this shit. But again, to see people like Just Dave or any of the other people we had last week and stuff like that. It's same with like Spare the Dying. I've spoken to those guys a lot. Wonderful dudes. Metal is not my scene at all. Not my scene at all. But it doesn't mean I can't appreciate it. It doesn't mean, especially like I can like, if I talk to other people that I know they're a big metal fan, I can point them in their direction.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly it. It's the respect for the art of it and what they're doing. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
And one of the things as well is always that if you there are a lot of bands there, but there's also a lot of solo artists and a lot of people trying to find their footing and stuff like that. I mean, like I say, that's how I got started. And that's how, and well, let's face it, that's how anyone gets started in music. Is you've got to start somewhere.
Yep.
And so it is a wonderful connection, a place to connect and make. And like I said, every single person on my who's going to be on my EP is someone I've met at the Capitol doing this. It's a great way to find people not just to listen to but to play with, and it's just it's incredible. It's incredible stuff. It's great.
Oh, dude, it's the definition of living a dream, right?
Sat in front of that sign on the highway shoulder, remembering sorely that I'll never hold her. There ain't many a place where I cannot roam, but if Virginia's for lovers, I guess I'm going home. No, don't say you're sorry, you wound up alone. If I never loved you, I'd never have known. Wait for the day I can come back again. Virgie opens the borders and lets me on in. Sat by the banks of that Roanoke River. I ain't been back since I'm no longer with her. I ain't seen the Blue Ridge or the Chesapeake Bay. Since Virginia's for lovers, I guess I'll stay away. No, don't say you're sorry, you wound up alone. If I never loved you, I'd never have known. Wait for the day I can come back again. Virgie opens the borders and lets me on in. When I came back from dresser was all I could get. Now I'm left with a whiskey and all my regret. But if that old sign don't lie, I knew what to expect. No, don't say you're sorry, I wound up alone. If I never loved you, I'd never have known. Wait for the day I can come back again. Virgie opens the borders and lets me on in. Virgie opens the borders and lets me on in.
And I do, from what from what people were telling me about the music scene in Saskatoon a couple of years ago, with the rate the city's been um, building up and stuff, it seems like it's really coming into its own and doing it. And I think you guys are an absolute credit to how it's come about, especially the cap. Like it was good before you guys were there, but it's really come alive a little bit since then, which has been great. And yeah, we've just seen. I've even just be maybe it's just being more aware of things as I've kind of got used to being in the city. But it feels like that there's more places playing music live now than there was nearly a year ago, and I'm sure that was the case for the year before that, and especially coming out of COVID and stuff like that.
Right.
It's nice to see this huge resurgence of just good music, and also more importantly, good opportunities for music to be heard, which has
Yep.
just been absolutely swell.
Agreed.
Absolutely swell.
Um, going back to your recording. So,
Yes.
how much time? Like, have you begun already, or is
Yeah.
this something that's going to be starting here really quick?
We've started some scratch tracks for
Okay.
it, so just getting myself, getting things I can send out to the musicians and whoever's going to be on it, and also just for reference and sort of show how the song's going to progress. So we've got that so far.
Right.
And we're going to start laying things down in earnest in the next couple of days, actually, hopefully. Hopefully Alex isn't watching this and realizing that I haven't told them necessarily all the plans just yet. But yeah, we're going to start. We're going to be starting up in the next couple of days and really, really laying some stuff down. And like I say, I am playing pretty lo-fi stuff, and I'm not adding a huge amount of stuff to it just because it's not really what I want to do. And so yeah, there should be a fairly quick turnaround compared to a lot of other people's projects, which have maybe a lot more of a refined sound and a lot more layering, and takes a little bit longer to get sorted. So I'm confident we'll get some. I'll have something to show you guys and show the world.
Hell yeah,
in
dude.
in the next couple of months, if not in the next couple of weeks. Maybe not something that's complete, but something that's showing up. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to recording some stuff again and being able to sort of sit down with some of my music and record it. A lot of this, a lot of my songs are very, obviously everyone says this. A lot of my songs are very personal to me, so it's and a lot of them have been lingering on me for a while. So it's nice to finally get them sat down and get them out.
Yeah,
for sure.
About to people. So, which is super exciting. It really, really is. It's a bit daunting. I know a lot of people who, when they record music, they've been, even people who are, my peers back in the UK, they record with the same engineer and producers and same musicians every single time, and have this very comfortable routine where they're going to record a single or an EP every year or every 18 months or whatever their timeline usually is. And they just say, like, yeah, they pop into the studio, it runs like clockwork. Everything I've recorded has been new. It's been new engineers, new producer, new musicians. I've pretty much been the only constant in it, which has always made me feel a little bit nomadic. with my music. I'd love to have a backing band, or like a fully identifiable thing. I've got people I play with, obviously, but so it's a little bit daunting to be recording in a new environment. But I massively trust Alex. He's got a good head on his shoulders, and he's a damn good friend of mine. So I'm looking forward to it. And like I say, the people who I've got playing on it are just incredible. And one are very talented in and of themselves, which is obviously wonderful.
Heck
To not
yeah.
have to not have third-rate musicians on and stuff, apart from myself, but also have people who've been very vocal in believing in me, and don't want to keep playing the immigrant card, but we all know that it works pretty well.
Yeah, it does. I know.
It really does. It really does. Coming to a new country and sort of and coming here to play music and kind of having to lay myself bare like that, after having tried to do this before and all these other things, is a little bit nerve wracking. So it is very nice to have these people, backing my corner and championing me a little bit, even if it's just enough to say like, yeah, I'll play on it. Like, yeah, I'm sure
Right.
they've got, it's going to be an afternoon for them, but it means a heck of a lot to me.
Well, we've got your back.
We're
Yeah,
100%, dude. We're in your corner, man.
And I've genuinely been, I've been absolutely taken aback by how everyone's treated me since I've moved out here. And like I say, I was very close with a lot of the people in the music scenes in the UK, both in Southampton and in Nottingham. And I was well received. Like I say, I wasn't received poorly. The people didn't throw things at me too often. But nothing really materialized from it, or at least didn't happen or at least didn't materialize in the same ways, or necessarily as often. And it would take a lot more begging on my part.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to have people sort of like jumping at the bit for me, which has been really nice. People have, I've been asked to play rather than me asking.
Yeah.
Which has been great. And there's still a lot of tit for tat. I don't want to toot my own trumpet too much. I'm still, trying to network and trying to talk to people and make things work off my own back. But it has been really nice to see the enthusiasm for what I'm doing, especially doing a North American art that is country music. As someone who is not from here, is always going to feel like I'm wearing a costume a little bit, and especially being around. I mean, like I say, take someone like Josh Stumpf, who very much lives the life that he looks like he does. Like he is,
Yeah.
he is full on like
A motorcycling rancher.
He's very much of the land. Like his boots have seen dirt and stuff like that, and it's a little intimidating to go to be like, hey, I'm a guy from suburban England, and I'm going to try and do the same thing. So to have like as nice a response as I have, like, don't get me wrong, I've had jibes and stuff like that, mostly in good fun, but it's been wonderful. It's been I'm always going to cycle back to that I'm in disbelief about how well this stupid gamble of moving into the middle of Canada has paid off for me.
Dude, I'm so
Because
freaking
it was so stupid.
I'm so grateful.
It was a very good decision, dude.
I'm so grateful that you did make that call, my friend. I'm happy that our paths have crossed and all of the above, dude. This is
hugely, but like it's just so like I can say now that I'm gainfully employed and I'm making a decent impact with music and stuff like that and everything else in my life. Things are going well for me. But God, I moved out here with $500 and a guitar. Like, I say I moved out here with guitar. My guitar was stuck in Winnipeg for a week with all my socks and my books. So I had. If this hadn't worked, I had no safety net. I had no nothing. And what I'm saying is, if there's any young and impressionable people listening to this, make reckless decisions with your life. It will always pay off, and it will always work out well.
Yes.
It's been an absolute dream. It's been an absolute dream. being out in this city, and especially like it's very weird. Like I know, obviously, Mark, you moved here from elsewhere, and Joel, I know that you're from within the province, but not necessarily from the city itself.
That's right.
It's been really nice to, a lot of people, like I say, most people, when I said I was moving to Saskatoon, the first question was, where the fuck is that? And trying to explain that was very hard. I do think I have upped the relevance of Saskatchewan in the UK massively, just by having to explain where it is and what it is to people. But it's also been really nice. A lot of, when people didn't know about it, they'd always jibe about it, about something that had just been like a boring prairie city. It's been really nice to have that refuted for me, and now be able to refute it to other people, because there's so much going on.
Right.
Yes.
I'm curious to hear how you tell your UK friends. How would you explain Saskatoon?
It depends on where I'm starting. There are certain people I've talked to when I was telling people about moving. If they could point to Canada on a map, I felt like it was a good start with them, and that was always very difficult. With most people, though, I'd say, "Do you know where Toronto is?" And they say vaguely. I was like, "Do you know where Vancouver is?" They say vaguely, and I was like, "Cool, it's about 2/3 over from one."
There you go. Heck yeah.
And that worked pretty well.
Hey, speaking of, have you gotten the question like, where do you live? Saskatoon. Oh, I have family in Toronto. Do you know them?
Oh, I love that. I love that. I get it both, and that's the thing. I get it both ways. Like, are you in Saskatoon? I've got family. Like my friend is looking to move to Canada. He's been doing some work with his partner was nominated for a Juno as the one of the breakout artist of the year sort of thing.
Oh, nice.
And he was chatting to me about how my visa stuff went, and how we can kind of pursue it. And he was saying like, yeah, I'm gonna be in Edmonton next week. We should meet up. And I'm like, dude, I'd love to, but you're 8 hours away still. You're in one of the closest cities, but it's still not easy.
Right.
But also I get it from the UK as well. People are like, oh, my friend or my girlfriend or something's British. Do you know them? No.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Sometimes I have more connections to people than I'd like to, but
yeah. For me, it was always when people ask me about Holland, it's like, well, you know how big Saskatchewan is? Well, Holland is 11 times smaller and has 17 million people. And people are like, oh, okay. So how far are you from Amsterdam? It's like, it's about
a bike ride away.
2 hours. And it's like, oh yeah, well, I've been there. Yeah. You've been to the airport? Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
That's usually how far that goes.
Right.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. And coming. I don't wish I was from London, because I'm not a monster. In the same way that I don't wish I was in Toronto now. But got to make explaining where I'm from so much easier, because I have to, where are you from? Nottingham.
What?
Robin Hood. Robin Hood. Okay, good. We've got
there you go.
But yeah, very much like, where is it in relation to London? I'm like, it doesn't really matter. It's just a fairy tale land somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I've been here 15 years, and after 15 years, you can still pull the immigrant card. So.
Oh, it's so wonderful.
Keep that in mind. And actually, Joel keeps reminding me that I'm Dutch for whatever reason.
Yeah, sometimes, man. Sometimes I can't get on that same page as you. I just don't understand. But I'm a little crazy too, so that's probably all on me.
Yeah.
Well, Ollie, regrettably so, we are gonna have to let you go here. But before I do that, I just want to let you know this door is wide open for you. I'm looking forward to listening to the music you're about to release here coming up in the next couple months. You can be damn sure that we're going to be spinning it on Funky Moose Radio, and we'll be talking about it here on the show. Yeah, man.
Thanks again. Thanks so much, one, for having me on. I feel very grateful to be let on amongst the ranks of some of the other people you've had on this show, and also, just thank you for everything that you guys have been doing for the scene, all the promotion, all the support and everything that you guys have done from Funky Moose Radio all the way down to Capital Open Mic to everything else. It's just been even
Thanks,
just being at
man.
the gigs. Like I bumped into you guys at plenty of gigs at the Cap and stuff.
Dude, that's the best. We were just talking about that with the Hour Hand of musicians supporting other musicians.
Yep.
Like,
And that's
when, I love it.
And that's the thing, like it's great when we can support. We always talk about just following someone on social media or giving the thing a listen online. Is great, and it is, and I don't never want to diminish that but when people can pay, support with their wallet, as much as mercenary as it sounds, it does have a major impact on not just the well-being of that artist, but also just the health of the scene in general. It gives
Agreed.
confidence to venues and to other musicians that this is viable and this is something that can work out. And selfishly, you should kind of be rooting of that because it works well for you. I can't afford to go to every gig, but like it's nice when I can. And I've seen some amazing people and embarrassed myself in front of some of them.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, guys. It's been a pleasure. I'm looking forward to. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and hopefully, if anyone was watching this, you can see me on Spotify, YouTube. If you follow me on Instagram, it usually has all my gigs up there, and I'm usually playing around the Saskatoon area and beyond. But thank you so much, guys. Take care.
Hell yeah, Ollie.
Thanks,
Thank
Ollie.
you. Doors wide open, buddy. Love you, man.
Tatty, bye now.
I've got to change pedal. Yeah, come on.
Well, I'm sitting on the docks, river water soaking through my socks. Guess it got in through my boots, but I got nothing to prove. I'm just running down the clock, and dirty water's running in. It's filling up my glass. This is the best that I can win. Welcome to the new middle class. There ain't no water upon these walls. Then a yacht out in the back. There ain't no savings in my bank account. I'll sell my tab with some loose cash. And though we'll complain, I doubt I'll make a change. So I may as well sit back and open up another beer. Let country music fill up my ear and tap the rhythm through my boots, 'cause I got nothing to lose. I'm just running down the years. Well, my rent is barely paid. Must have drank away the rest. A couple of eight friends apply my trade. Existential cardiac arrest. There ain't no love between these walls. Said what I give myself. And though these tissues are for tears, darling, they say crying's good for your health. And though we'll complain, now that'll make a change. No point trying something else. And open up another beer. Let country music fill up my ear and tap the rhythm through my boots, 'cause I got nothing to lose. I'm just running down the years. Just a bag of piss and wind, and blow the room up with hot and telling stories that I told before, complaining life is so unfair. Well, I thought I would be hitched by now, but it's all just in my head. Oh, I keep talking about heading west, playing my own songs for my bread. And though we'll complain, I doubt I'll make a change, so I'll keep doing this instead. So open up another beer, let country music fill up my ear, and tap the rhythm through my boots, 'cause I got nothing to lose. I'm just running down the years. And open up another beer, let country music fill up my ears, and tap the rhythm through my boots, 'cause I got nothing to lose. I'm just running down the years.